I am very delighted to welcome you to this new year. Every end marks a new beginning, while every beginning is a journey towards an end. The end of a year and the beginning of a new one is a clear reflection of this philosophy. As a year ends, another year begins. Besides, as the new year begins, its end is inevitable with time. In other words, the end of the new year is only a matter of time. Every old year was once a new year, and every new year will eventually become an old year with time. Though a year passes by, its events and activities become part of history. It is natural to start a new year with high expectations, irrespective of the overwhelming realities that constitute threats to them. As a matter of fact, it is irrational not to be optimistic in a new year, no matter how hopeless the prevailing realities may suggest. This is the reason every new year is naturally ushered in with high hopes, desires, ambitions, wishes, and expectations. But it is a pity that as the year grows old, the euphoria, excitements, and expectations of the new year gradually fade away. Worse still, it is very sad to note that for most people, most expectations of a new year do not become realities before the end of the year. Expectation is the mother of disappointment. There will not be disappointment in the absence of expectation. Your disappointment or fulfillment in this new year will be proportional to your ability to fail or accomplish your expectations for the year, respectively. The more of your expectations for this new year that become realities in the year, the happier and more fulfilled you will be in this new year. But the more of your expectations for this new year that are unrealized in the year, the unhappier and more disappointed you will be in this new year. However, the absence of expectations could be indicative of the absence of focus and direction in life. I want to ask you some questions. How many of your expectations of the previous years were you able to translate into realities before the end of the years? It is also not likely that some, if not many, or even most of your expectations of this new year will become realities before the end of the year, except you make some positive changes in your attitudes towards life. One of the most effective strategies for increasing the probability of enjoying greater achievements in this new year is having a New Year retreat. But a New Year retreat cannot be successfully conducted in isolation of the events and activities of the previous year. It is very sad to note that most people are unable to properly end a year because they are distracted by their preparations for Christmas and New Year celebrations, two of world's greatest and most popular celebrations of all time. Worse still, some people confuse the preparations for Christmas and New Year with the preparation for the end of the year. Indeed, this is a fundamental error that has serious lifetime consequences. There are usually various celebrations for families, associations, organizations, unions, establishments, and so on towards the end of every year. Such programs are usually parties, get-togethers, and merrymakings, and their primary objective is usually to celebrate being alive till the end of the year while awaiting the dawn of a new year. Furthermore, the ending of the year hosts parties and celebrations like marriage ceremonies, weddings, wedding anniversaries, death anniversaries, fundraising projects, and so on. Most people are also too busy preparing for end of the year parties, get togethers, merrymakings, projects, and programs that they are unable to properly prepare for the end of the year. There are very important questions I want to ask you. Have you observed any positive impacts of the end of the year parties, get togethers, and merrymakings on people's lives in the new year? In other words, have you observed any meaningful value end of the year parties adds to the lives of people in the new year? Furthermore, have you observed any long-term benefits or significance of the end of the year parties, get-togethers, and merrymakings on people's lives? Indeed, these are questions you may never have thought of that beg for answers. If the end of the year parties have no positive impacts on the lives of people in the new year, if the end of the year get togethers do not add any meaningful value to people's lives in the new year, and if the end of the year merrymakings have no long-term benefits or significance in people's lives, what is their rationale? Are they really worthy of the attentions they command? I am very interested in the responses to the above questions because I am not in a hurry to allow things that do not add meaningful value to my life to consume much of my time, attention, or resources. It is very instructive to note that there is no deliberate attempt to condemn end of the year celebrations or other programs and projects that take place during the ending of the year. We have only one life to live, and it should be spiced with celebrations and festivities. Though life is too short not to be enjoyed, it is too short to be wasted attending parties, get-togethers, merrymakings, and celebrations. My argument is that the celebrations are not the most important things to do towards the end of the year, though they are inevitable end of the year activities for most adults. Having get-togethers or other projects towards the end of the year are inadequate or incomplete ways of ending a year. My concern is that the get-togethers distract most people from the most important program or activity of the season. In your opinion, what is the most important activity every adult ought to perform towards the end of the year? What is the most important thing every adult ought to do at the end of the year? The best way to end a year is reviewing the year in order to ascertain your performance in it. This is achieved through an end of the year retreat. This is the best and most important thing to do towards the end of the year, though it is an exercise that ought to be done periodically within the year. Unfortunately, most people do not perform this exercise because they are ignorant of its significance. Rather, they substitute it with parties, get-togethers, merrymakings, marriage celebrations, shopping, death anniversary celebrations, fundraising projects, and so on. It is a pity that many people work very hard to host get-togethers with people towards the end of the year, while they are very far away from themselves. This misplacement of priority has unprecedented life consequences. You should not bother getting close to people towards the end of the year while you are far away from yourself. One of the reasons many people cannot move forward in life, despite being very passionate about achieving a happy and successful life, is that they do not review the year before it ends. It is a pity that most adults jump into a new year without taking stock of the activities of the previous year. Reviewing the year is taking stock of the year. It is appraising, examining, and evaluating your life in the year in order to ascertain your performance in it. If you do not review the year before it ends, there is a very high probability that you cannot ascertain your performance in it. Consequently, There is also a high likelihood that you will be ignorant of the aspects of your life you failed and the aspects of your life you did well in the year. The implication of this is that you will likely repeat the mistakes you made in the year when you matriculate into the new year because you are unaware of the aspects of your life that need improvement. The repetition of those mistakes may continue year after year until your lifetime is over. This highlights the necessity of end of the year retreats. The retreats assist you to review the activities in different aspects of your life during the year in order to ascertain your performance in the year and identify the areas of your life you excelled and the areas you failed. This will enable you to realize the aspects of your life that need improvement. Most importantly, it will enable you to set the right goals for the year. This is unarguably the best way to prepare for a new year. The reason I am emphasizing this point is that you cannot have a successful New Year retreat without an end of the year retreat, or at least reviewing, evaluating, and appraising the events and activities of the previous year. The outcome of your end of the year retreat provides you with the raw materials for your New Year retreat. But before I continue, I want to explain what retreat is. Retreat means to withdraw, to draw back, or to pull back. Retreat is the withdrawal from one's usual activities so as to review and examine one's life in order to receive counsel to take better decisions and position one's life for greater success in the future. You can have retreats on different aspects of your life at different times. Retreat can be personal or group. Retreat is always recommended before a new beginning. Why do you need a New Year retreat? There are many reasons you need a New Year retreat. You need a New Year retreat if you want to enjoy a prosperous New Year. According to Albert Einstein, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results is one of the definitions of insanity. It is not likely that your achievements in the previous years will be different from your achievements in this new year if you fail to have a New Year retreat. New Year retreats enables you to achieve a productive, fruitful, blissful, and happy life in the new year. New Year retreats also helps you to make effective and reliable plans for the new year. It is said that proper prior planning prevents poor performance. The raw material for proper planning is right information. Besides, New Year retreats afford you the opportunity to have a direction for the new year. It also offers you the blueprint for achieving greater and better results in the new year by helping you realize the aspects of your life that need improvement. You are on the fast lane to failure in the new year if you fail to usher the new year with a retreat. There are different areas or aspects of your life you should review during your New Year retreat, and they include your marriage, family life, relationships, health, finances, career, spiritual life, intellectual development, personal development, and so on. As a matter of fact, every aspect or dimension of your life should be reviewed in the new year. However, in this video, we will only be concerned with appraising and evaluating your performance in your finances. This is the reason it is called New Year Financial Retreat. How did you perform in your finances last year? Did you do well or badly in your finances in the previous year? In order to properly answer this question, you should get a pen and paper for a brief personal evaluation and appraisal exercise. We are about to commence the personal evaluation and appraisal exercise in your finances. You should draw three parallel horizontal lines on a sheet of paper. Divide the three parallel horizontal lines into three equal parts with two vertical lines so that you have three columns as shown on the screen. In the first column, write savings. In the second column, write assets and investments. In the third column, write expenses and debts. Under the savings column, write the cash you have at hand, as well as the money you have in the bank. That is your savings accounts, current accounts, and or fixed deposit accounts. Under the assets and investments column, write the monetary value of the houses, companies, businesses, shares, investments, and income generating projects you have. Then under expenses and debts, write your expenses and debts. This should include your debts, house rent, school fees of your children, the cost of feeding yourself and your family, clothing, medical bills, fares, bills, and so on. You may pause this video from time to time to concentrate on this exercise. The next thing I want you to do is to add what you have in the savings and assets and investments columns and subtract the sum of what you have in the expenses and debts column from it. What is your answer? Whatever you have is your financial value or financial worth, and it determines your financial status. What are your observations from this exercise? I have conducted this exercise with numerous people at different New Year financial retreats at different places. An interesting thing from my personal experiences and observations in this training is that the results I get from most of the attendees of the retreats are always the same. If you did the exercise as I recommended above, it is very likely that some of your findings are as follows. 1. The savings column may be empty. 2. The assets and investments column may also be empty. 3. It is not likely that you will be able to remember most of your expenses as well as some of your debts because they may be numerous. 4. The sum of the expenses and debts may be higher than the sum of the savings and assets and investments. 5. The difference between the sum of the savings and assets and investments and expenses and debts may be in deficit. Can you compare your findings from this exercise with what would have been the results from it if it were performed at about this time last year? It is very likely that there will be no difference. However, even if your income has increased since last year, even at a very reasonable rate, you may observe that it is not likely that the increase in income reflected in the savings and assets and investments columns, but rather in the expenses and debts column. And this is very wrong. It is very disappointing to note that this is how most workers live all through their active, productive, and working years, while they are ignorant of the implications or long-term consequences of their poor financial attitudes. It is very instructive to note that the contents of your savings and assets and investments columns play a very key role in determining your financial value, your financial worth, and also your financial status. If you want to enjoy sustainable financial success during your adult life, you should always strive to increase your savings and assets and investments columns while you lower your expenses and debts. Did you learn anything from this exercise? Before I continue, I want to make some explanations that will be very helpful to you. This review captures the 3 personal uses of money. You should save, spend, and also invest. How much were you able to save all through last year? You may never become rich if you cannot save. The rule of saving, according to Warren Buffett, is that you should not save what is left after spending. Rather, you should spend what is left after saving. Consequently, you should save before you spend. The money you save today will save you tomorrow. Unfortunately, most adults do not have saving culture. Besides, when you save, your savings should not be squandered when it appreciates. Rather, it should be used to acquire and accumulate investments. Investments, otherwise called assets, are things that make money for you. In his celebrated book titled Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert T. Kiyosaki defines an asset as something that puts money in my pocket. In my book titled The Secrets of Successful Investors, Guides to Investing, I define investment as an income-generating valuable. In other words, investments are valuables you have that generate incomes for you. The acquisition of investments is very essential for enjoying sustainable financial success. When you acquire investments, money works for you. The interesting thing about money working for you is that it does so always. When you are asleep, sick, on holiday, enjoying yourself, and so on. Except you acquire investments, you will work for money until your last breath. This is the reason Warren Buffett remarks that if you do not find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. It is difficult to achieve financial security without investments because investments make you rich. This is the reason you should prioritize the acquisition and accumulation of investments in this new year. I showed you how to calculate your financial value or financial worth earlier. I also told you that your financial value or financial worth determines your financial status. Your financial value or financial worth changes many times, even within a month. A very important question you should ask yourself is, how long will I be able to meet my financial challenges if I am unable to work? You'll get the answer to this question when you divide your financial value with your cost of living. The answer to this question is the lifespan of your financial freedom. If your answer is 3 months, that means that you can meet your financial challenges for only 3 months if something bad happens to your job. If you are a proactive person, you will realize that you will have serious financial challenges if you lose your job today and you are unable to have another means of earning a living after 3 months. Whether you are an employee or an entrepreneur. The lockdown of 2020 was a very big lesson to many people who were seeing themselves as rich people. They suddenly became broke and could not meet their financial challenges because they could not work for money. What is the implication of this for you? You have a very long way to go in your finances because you are not yet financially secure, though you may be financially free. In my book titled Roadmap to Financial Security: How to Become Rich and Remain Rich, I define financial security as lifetime financial independence. Financial security is not just financial freedom, that is the ability to meet one's financial challenges in the absence of any assistance from anyone. Rather, it is the ability to meet one's financial challenges for the rest of his or her life. Do you know that there are some people who will not have any financial challenge for the rest of their lives if they do not work from today? Such people have achieved financial security. Financial security is the ultimate financial goal. Most unfortunately, most adults do not aspire for financial security because they are ignorant of it. A very important question you should ask yourself is, what is the way forward? Having realized where you are now, where do you go from here? What changes should you make in your life in order to improve your finances in the new year? I will give you 12 guides to improve your finances in the new year, and they are as follows. 1. Decide exactly what you want in your finances in the new year. You should be clear and precise about this, though what you want in your finances will largely be determined by your passions and career path. For instance, it will be determined by whether you are an entrepreneur or an employee. 2. Develop financial skills like budgeting, financial discipline, questioning all your expenses, financial forecast, living within your income, and so on. 3. Increase your financial intelligence. You achieve this by acquiring financial education. This is achieved by reading educative books, using educative digital products like DVDs, CDs, MP3s, and so on, and also by attending trainings. 4. Commit to continuous self-development. You achieve this by enrolling in personal development programs. It could be an academic program, a training with a professional body, and so on. 5. Acquire new wealth creation skills. What skills do you need to supplement the ones you have for wealth creation? You should identify them and also acquire them. This will enhance your earning potential in this new year. 6. Develop multiple streams of income. Can you build an alternative stream or alternative streams of income in this new year, in addition to the ones you already have? 7. Develop a strategic plan for acquiring investments. I said earlier that the acquisition of investments makes money work for you. The acquisition of investments will make money work for you so that you can start making money without working for money. 8. Develop the habit of futuristic financial planning. You should learn to plan for the future before it becomes an emergency. You should develop short-term plans, medium-term plans, and long-term plans. 9. Set goals for the new year. When I facilitate at New Year financial retreats, one of the things I easily realize from the testimonies of most of the participants is that the reason they do not have any meaningful thing to show for the previous year is that they did not set any goal at the beginning of the year. What do you hope to achieve in this new year if you have no set goals for it? 10. Design your action steps. This will enable you to start taking immediate actions to translate your set goals into realities within a reasonable time. 11. Take immediate actions on your set goals. Your set goals for the new year will never become realities until you take actions on them. If you want your set goals for the year to become realities before the end of the year, you should endeavor to do something every day to make the set goals realities. Otherwise, the time you spend setting goals for the year will be wasted. 12. Periodically review your set goals and your steps towards translating them into realities. Though you should strive to improve the financial aspect of your life in this new year, none of the other aspects of your life should be denied of attention because they are all important. There are additional steps I want you to take immediately. There are links to some playlists below this video. The playlist will equip you with the information you need to improve on different aspects of your life in this new year. I strongly encourage you to click the links to watch the videos in the playlist because they will answer many questions you would love to ask. I also encourage you to click the link below to join our WhatsApp group so that you will enjoy our free mentorship in the new year. You should also subscribe to this YouTube channel and turn on the bell icon so that you will be informed whenever new videos are published in this channel, especially the videos that will help you increase and manage your income in this new year and for the rest of your life. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope to meet you again in another video in this channel. Thanks for watching.